Hey everybody, this is going to be a quick video over your BB Learn shells. I wanted to help you navigate through all the content that you'll see over here on your BB Learn shells. A lot of it is similar to what you'll find in your labs, and so if you've watched the BB Learn shell for your labs, you'll see you'll see a lot of the same stuff, especially under our NAU start here info. But yeah, just to kind of walk you through this a little bit, you can see over here, here's your, this is from spring, so I haven't rolled this shell into your specific BB Learn shells just yet. So I'm working in an older version, but you will see all the same things here on your shells. So what's happening in lecture? This is where we'll be posting any announcements, so updates, things that I need to communicate as far as reminders for tests and quizzes, anything pertaining to, I don't know, sometimes I get really great questions emailed to me, so I'll send you an update or send you the answers that I gave to other people. Any clarification on concepts that we go over will be sent to you through here, and I'll also make sure that I send that to your email. So please do find some time each day to just check through your emails or come to your BB Learn shell and just see if there's any updates. I'm not going to email blast you. Hopefully I only do that maybe once a week or something like that, and once every 2 weeks. I added a calendar here so that you can see any of your necessary due dates. So what is this for? This is your podcast number 2 is due on 9/16 by 11 p.m. Okay, so hopefully you can navigate those and use this tool to help you stay up to date with all of your assignments, with all of your classes that you've got going on. If you don't use this calendar, I'd recommend that you sit down with the syllabus and transcribe the due dates from my syllabus into your planner. So maybe you use a Google Calendar. I like Google Calendar. It's really easy. So maybe you use iCal or whatever it is. There's a gazillion things out there. Maybe you're like into paper. So cool. And then right here, remote classes and group office hours. This is where you're gonna find all of the links to connect during each of your classes. So if you are in the Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 to 8:50 class, remember we're not having classes on Fridays, which is why it only says Monday, Wednesday, 8 to 8:50. But if you click on that folder, you'll see that I've already have these dates set out for you. So you're going to be clicking on 8/12, and you're going to I don't know why that says update that. Well, that's unfortunate. So basically I'll have to check that out, but this should allow you to, because it's not started yet. So you'll click on that, you'll join the session, and this is how we're going to have our classes on Monday, Wednesdays, or whenever your scheduled time is, and we'll be meeting for those 50 minutes. I'll be sharing my screen with you, going over some PowerPoints, going over learning activities. Down here you'll also see my group office hours. So if you click on that, those are already set up. Anybody can come into these group office hours. You can bring your questions. Please bring questions, because otherwise it's going to be really weird if there's 40 of us just staring at each other and no one has any questions. I'm not spending time lecturing. I'm here to answer your questions and help clarify things. I want it to be more of a discussion as well. So if other people are chiming in, then that helps kind of hash out misconceptions or understandings of the material, and sometimes you might find a good partner to work with. Individual office hours, those are going to be held through Zoom. So if you are wanting to set up individual office hours either by appointment or through my predetermined office hours for individual meetings, let me know, email me, I'll set up a Zoom meeting, I'll email you the link, and then just you and I will connect on that. Then down here we have NAU start here. So this first one is being successful tips. If you are concerned about this class, maybe you don't feel prepared. If you start doing poorly in this class, or you don't do as well on your first exam or first quiz as you hoped for, this folder has a ton of resources for you. check out this Improving Your Academic Performance document. I made this about a year ago, and well, actually a few years ago, and I've been updating it over the years, but it's got information about what to expect for grades, a little bit of what we talked about that first day on introspection and metacognition, building long-term memory, how to be successful in labs, and time management and study group information. So look at that. I think you'll find some of those resources really helpful. Right here is the VARC test. Maybe you're trying to study and it's just not clicking. These concepts aren't sticking. You might be more of a visual or an auditory learner than you are a kinesthetic or a reading and writing person. A lot of people tell me when they're working in labs that they'll watch the video 3 or 4 times and they're still not doing well. Don't spend that much time watching the lectures. You know, take notes, and in the areas of like where you're really confused, make some notes in your notes about times and concepts and go back and revisit those specific topics, or try reading those areas in the textbook to add some clarity. Information about study group guidelines. And then this folder has all kinds of campus resources to help you. So because we're doing Zoom and Collaborate, and probably other professors are going to be using other technology, you guys are on this like steep learning curve right now of trying to navigate everything and figure it all out. So ITS and e-learning can help you out if you have questions or your technology is not working. The library has laptops and AV equipment if you need to check anything out, or your charger breaks. You can rent these things from the library. If you are struggling in the class, there is tutoring and SI and academic support through the Academic Success Center. Health promotions, man, we're all a little on edge with COVID this semester, so maybe you're sick, maybe you need to get tested, or maybe you're just feeling a little down and you need to talk to a psychologist. You can get all of that through health promotions. Student life, disability resources, any accommodation letters. This is where your student and faculty login is. This is where I go to see any of your accommodation letters. You can also go in to kind of get enrolled and get set up. Native American Student Services, Multicultural Services, Student Veterans, International Ed. So there are a lot of links here to campus resources that if you fit into any of these categories, I guess, or maybe you fit into multiple categories, there are services that are out there for you to kind of help you out. Your syllabus will be right over here, and then all of our SI and TA content will be here. So for each of your BB Learn shells, I'll have the introduction videos for your SI and your TAs that you'll be seeing remotely, and some of them in person. So please, they're like 5 minutes or 6 minutes. So take a look, watch this, see who they are. These are people that you're going to be interacting with in our virtual discussion rooms. At some point, all of them will put their name and email and any office hours that are applicable, so you can stop by and visit or connect. Some of those office hours and SI sessions will be through Collaborate Ultra. So just like we have the remote class Collaborate Ultra and my group office hours, this is going to be specific to the SI sessions. And so those will be posted up here for you as well. So make sure that you check those out. And then our SI leaders and TAs will also be checking a discussion board. They're going to set up times on here to interact and be available on the discussion board, but also you all can use this as a tool to help each other out, answer each other's questions, post things, and then our TAs will get on at certain times. These days are not specific right now, but they will they will be updated once these BB Learn shells are rolled over. And then each unit, your SI instructor will be putting helpful resources in here. So worksheets, practice worksheets, games, a practice exam, a Kahoot. So again, a ton of stuff for you to use. Please get in here and use this and find time to navigate through here. This is all designed to help you be successful. Assignments and tests, your podcast and video assignments will be here. There are instructions in red right up here, so you can read through all these instructions. For your podcast 1, you have 2 specific readings, or one podcast that you need to listen to and 1 article that you need to read. And then here is the parameters for that assignment. In order to earn your 10 points, you must and follow those 5. Notice this is not a summary. We are applying what we're talking about to these articles or these podcasts. And then you're going to submit this in this spot right here. There is a rubric that's attached to these, so reference the rubric before you submit it and double check that you hit all of those points. Read these out loud to yourself. Have someone else read it, because sometimes you read it and you're like, oh, that makes sense. And then someone else reads it and they're like, you lost me. So please do that. These points are here to, help you apply the information, but also connect outside information to our class content. Then for podcasts 2 and 3, you can see again a different set of directions that are here, and then you're going to submit those to here, and those have deadlines that are listed in your calendar. All of these are links and articles and videos and podcasts that you can choose. You can pick any of them that you want. Okay, obviously you can't do the same one 3 times. That's not going to work. You won't get your points. So find something different and submit that in those spots. Concept map assignments will be here. Here's your set of instructions for your concept maps. Here's a scoring rubric so you can see how we're gonna grade that. You're gonna get 5 points for each of these assignments. You're gonna need to use at least 20 terms from the unit. It needs to be organized. You need to demonstrate the interrelationships, and you have to give a bigger meaning to the unit by looking at your concept map. You'll submit each of those in the appropriate place before the deadline. So reference your syllabus and also your calendar. And then your quizzes and exams will be here. Now these are set to open on specific dates, so please check your syllabus for those dates, and also the due dates should be populating into your calendars. And then you'll see our final exam is also there. So instructions are there for you. Make sure that you read those really well. Quizzes have a 90-minute time limit to answer 35 questions, and your tests 120 minutes to answer 50 questions. Again, you're only going to get 1 question at a time, so make sure that when you click Save Answer and go to the next, you're not going back to that question, okay? So make sure that you study, make sure you spend time getting organized with your material. You're not going to have time to look up every single one of these 35 questions. It's basically 3 minutes per question, so allocate some of that time for questions that you're really totally unsure about. Then you can look up in your notes or reference a PowerPoint and figure out what that answer might be. But the majority of your time, you kind of have to be dialed in on this. All right, all your course material is over here. So if we click on Unit 1, you can see in black will always be your lectures. In orange will always be your PowerPoints. In blue are any helpful study resources. And in red will be any of your activities. So these lectures, you can see here, Lecture 2, Lecture 3, Lecture 4, these are all posted already for you. They're posted on YouTube, so this will take you to the hyperlink. You can watch it there. Make sure you're watching these before the class that you're showing up to, because when you show up to that class, we're going to be doing some activities. You can also download the PowerPoints for each of those lectures so that you can follow along and kind of stay dialed in. These are from a previous semester, so they are a little bit different, and they don't totally align with those lectures, but you can actually download these. You can take the PowerPoints, use them, turn them into flashcards or study quizzes, delete labels off of images and try to practice on your own. Below that will be those study resources. So here we have a folder for study videos. And then these are all hyperlinks to how do things move across the cell membrane, what's passive and active transport, sodium potassium pump. So these are resources that will help explain these concepts in more detail, maybe give you a different perspective than how I taught it or went over it, or maybe how you understood it. So I would definitely recommend checking these out, especially if you are in an area where you're not real sure. Maybe you're like, facilitated diffusion, no problem. Sodium potassium pump, ooh, so don't watch that, right? Watch this guy over here. And then if we go back, oops, one more. The last one is this red activities folder. Now, these are all not available to you just yet. I will be posting these at least the day before our class. So when you tune in through Collaborate for our class, I will have some activities and worksheets that are available that we're going to go over. So the first 10 to 15 minutes, I'm going to have a PowerPoint that has highlights from the lecture that you just watched. So watch it before you come to class. Then we will, I'll be asking questions, I'll be kind of reiterating important points, and I'll be able to answer any of your questions that you might have. After that 10 to 15 minutes, we're going to work on learning activities. So I'm going to give you more practice problems, I'm going to give you scenarios or case studies, and then I'm going to put you all into virtual discussion groups. At that point, if you have a little button that you can raise your hand, and myself or our SI leaders or our TAs will be popping into your discussion groups and kind of be like, hello, how are you? What's your question? Let me help you. And then after those activities, we'll kind of come back together as a whole group. We'll maybe have a little group discussion over those, and then maybe we'll do another learning activity after that. So I'm hoping that this will allow you to really apply the material that you're learning in those lectures to some problems, to test questions, to case studies, so that you really get a good grasp and a really good understanding of what we're going over. So you can see Unit 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 is here, and then down here, track your progress. My grades, this is where you're going to find all your grades on all of your assignments, and this is a grade calculator in order to help you stay current on your grade. In labs, I also have alluded to this, and there's a video that explains how this works. So I'm not going to go over it here, but this is essentially what this document looks like. You're going to be changing the percentages here, and I'm pretty sure we have 695 points. So this is your target, 620 points to get an A. If you want an A, put a 90% here, and so you're going to be able to plug in the percentage that you have, figure out what are the total class points available, and this is going to change all of our numbers here. And so when you come up to me and you say, hey, I want to get an A, or can I get an A at this point in the semester, reference this. I'm going to reference you to this document first. All right. The last thing that we have is, again, a help section, and this is all of those helpful resources that are on campus. They're just listed down here in another spot. Sometimes it's good to have them in two places just in case we need them. So if you have questions about this BB Learn Shell, please feel free to email me, talk to me during office hours, talk to our SI leaders, our TAs. They're going to be able to help you navigate through all this material. It's kind of a lot, but the nice thing about it is it's organized pretty similar to what you're going to see in both 201 labs and 202 labs. Thanks a lot for checking this out, and I wish you the best of luck this semester. Talk to you soon.